this is Allie Edwards, and in this video I wanted to give you a walkthrough of my completed Day in the Life album for 2021. I thought today would be a great time to share this look back through the 2 documenting days that I did last year as we release our new collection for 2022. Day in the Life is generally happens twice a year. We do 2 different documenting days, usually one in the beginning of the year and then the second one sometime during the second half of the year. The first documenting day for this year is going to be on Thursday, March 10th, and I have a specific story lens that I'm going to use, which is using ing words, and you can get more information on that in the blog post. But for today, what I want to do is I wanted to show you what does a Day in the Life album look like, or what can it look like. As always, with all of our projects, there isn't a right or a wrong way to do this. You can totally do Day in the Life just on Instagram, right, and sharing words and photos there. You can definitely do Day in the Life and add it into a Project Life album or some other 6x8 story album, or however you like to do your documenting. But you can also give it its own home, which is what I like to do. And I've done it in a variety of sizes over the years and in a variety of formats too. I've done it in a 12x12 album. I've done it in Project Life. I've done it in a 3x8 album, and then the last 2 years in the 4x6 size. So let's dive in and just take a look at what did it look like last year. So again, last year we did 2 different documenting days, and I'll just walk you through the different pieces. So with Day in the Life, the way that we are approaching the project now, or what the options that we have for you for documenting your story if you're looking for some support, is a 4x6 album. So this is obviously the one for last year, and then this is the one that we did for this year, which has a super fun inside, and then it has page protectors as well as a couple of other pages, cardstock coated pages and envelopes inside there. So last year's had a transparency included in there. So just again, like I'm saying, some of the products aren't available, but the general idea of the documenting is the same as we go through from last year to this year. So I started out with a big full page photo. This is again a little bit bigger than 4x6 because I'm making it the size of the page protectors, and I added on the year with chipboard there. The first lens that we used last year was around here, so I wrote a few basic things about why I like embarking on Day in the Life. And then you can see I'm using the chipboard tabs on the top, and then I'm using around here as my lens. So each of the different stories that I told on this particular day, I used this theme of around here as the jumping off point. What are the stories that are happening around my own house, or what were the stories that were happening around my own house and my own life on this particular day? That's what I'm wanting to capture. Now with Day in the Life, like I said, I've done it lots of different ways. I've done it where I picked a story every hour. I've done it where I have had no structure and have just taken photos and written down notes over the full course of the day. That's also a really fun way to do it. We've used gratitude. We're going to use that again this year. Let's see what was the other one last year. I think it was today, like today I, or today or we, or today you. So we'll find that here too. I just like having some kind of structure for these projects, right? It's nice to have an entry point into our storytelling, partly because it actually constrains some of our choices. And sometimes when we have less choices, especially in memory keeping, it can make it easier overall. So that's one of the reasons why I like to have specific lenses for Day in the Life. So then within the album itself, I set up a formula. So the formula was I used the 4x6 cards, and then I paired those with some photos that were sized to the outside of the page protector. And then I also added in here a few more. So around here at this point in time, the daffodils were starting to bloom. And around here, I'm talking about mornings and having coffee and doing all of those things I do. Our cat drinking water from the faucet because that's what he does. Around here, driving Anna to school, right? And talking a little bit about that. Just very basic of what are the basic things that we are doing in our life. That's really what this project is about capturing. It's about capturing some of those nitty-gritty details, some of those basic things that we encounter every single day, but that we don't necessarily think they are important or meaningful or, you know, any of those positive qualities, sometimes until they're gone. And so this is an opportunity to, in the moment, find gratitude, in the moment, find these little stories and bring them out. And even the messy ones, right? The stuff that's messy in our house. Like I don't go around before a Day in the Life and clean up my house so that when I'm actually documenting that day, I have a clean house to represent it. Like that's not that's not what this kind of storytelling is about for me at all. It's way more about capturing what is real about our lives. So adding in, you can see that I just did simple. This is stamping and then journaling added on for each one of my pictures, right? Around here, I'm working, and these are, you know, details about what my work life is right now. Around here, things for Audrey. And so this is last year, and this time last year, some of our kids were still not in school, and so it's talking about Audrey being at home for school. And then Simon coming back. This is probably either he's going to work or coming home from work, something like that. Capturing these little moments, the little interactions is what I'm looking for, and trying to get a representation of like each of the different people in the chapter of my life right now. Many of the hours of my life include lots of other people. So getting that as well, you know, showing a little bit about eating lunch, the basics, right? The basics of our day. Where do people exist over the course of the day within our house? What are the things that they are doing and the things that they care about? Even these just little details of stuff. So you can see just, again, using that lens of around here. So for this year, for 2022, I'm going to be the first documenting day lens that I'm going to use is ing words, like loving, like eating, like listening, watching. And those are actually on some of the stamp sets. And the cards for this year, the first set of cards has the story written on it. So you can see that in the other video too. So around here, Anna, around here, Aaron, what's Aaron into? It's fun for me to look at this now because this is a year ago. And since I'm not doing Project Life, I'm not capturing as many of these like everyday sorts of things, which makes this kind of project even more important to me, having these everyday sorts of things and these, looks at what did life look like a year ago in this very basic format, and what does it look like now within, with what are our basics now? Are the basics the same? Are they different? Those are the kinds of stories that I'm looking to include. So again, this was all one day, right? Looking around my life, around here, what is happening over the course of the day. And your day may be less or more full than mine at any particular point in time, right? This just happened to be a random day last year, and looking for the different things that I could capture of what our life looked like at that point in time. All right, so around here was that first documenting day, and then the second one we did, this is the one where we did the second half of the year, and this lens was the lens of today I, or today we, or today you. And last year's kit had these big fun felt stitched pieces, and so you can see that. I also, in the kit this year, we did a combination, so the gratitude documenting cards are 4x6, so that will be probably similar to what it looked like over here, and then the 3x4 cards are the ones for this year that are going to say the story. And last year they said today. But again, this is a very, let's see, what do I want to say? I don't want to say simple. It is targeted, right? It's very much a words and photos project. Both day in the life and week in the life for me are much more about the words and the photos than anything else. And what I love is I love having cards that are directing me, right? They are essentially story prompts, they're story jump starts, they are the lenses that we're using to tell the story. And by having that, it just helps me throughout the day. What I'm thinking of is today you, right? Today we, what's this story? Today you came into my office and gave me a hug. Or today I started my morning doing this, right? Those are the things that I'm telling within these stories. Today I walked outside between work tasks and hair appointments to visit the dahlias in my backyard, right? That's something that I do. And so again, this is like later, I think this was, does it say what the date was on this one? October. So October 15th is when the second documenting day was last year. But you can see that I'm keeping it fairly simple. The formula is simple, words and photos, and this wonderful opportunity to capture what is basic on 2 different days in our life. And you can see how this one had, 1, 2, how many stories did I tell on the second document day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I took 8 different photos on the second day, and I think I did a few more on the around here day. But basically, I just wanted to give you an opportunity today to see what does a completed day in the life album look like? Is this a project that you might want to join in on this year? If so, mark your calendar for that Thursday, March 10th. And if you're interested in some supplies to help you create a home, like the album, like the little kit, we've got that available for you guys today over on the Allie Edwards site, and I'll put a link for that below.